Okay, we are live on all platforms, including Instagram. Can't seem to figure out how to restream that. But last week, what I did is I gave you some ideas as a founder, as a chief revenue officer, as a chief marketing officer, how to come to meetings armed with storytelling so that you could teach your own teammates how to properly convey their thoughts, whether you're using it in a sales presentation, you're pitching the board or investors on ideas, or a bank, or you're trying to acquire new talent. Every day is selling, but there's a framework to telling stories. Now, within storytelling sits within this next topic, and I'm going to share my screen here in a moment. And what I'm going to show you is critical thinking. Now I'll kind of give you the situation. The situation is I own an offshoring agency with 70 employees. And many times from a cultural experience, and because they're young, a lot of times they're used to give task, do task. And so we have to build the muscle that is critical thinking. Critical thinking comes with experience. Now, as a guy who's been a founder of 3 agencies, I was thrusted into that position at an early age in my 20s because I had to make decisions to grow my businesses. But for many that grow, say, from analyst to associate, to a middle manager, to a director, to a VP, they have to learn it, but they learn it at a different pace. And so perhaps it's a muscle they haven't focused in on. So I'm going to share my screen in a moment. And for those on Instagram, I'll describe what this concept is. Let me share my screen now. And what I'm going to share with you is a critical thinking framework called 131. Now, I have a friend named Dan Martell who's been making content on this topic, and he's done a fantastic job. So if you've seen that or you've seen some of his content, totally get that it's a repeater. And this is a famous framework, so I haven't invented anything new. But let me pass this knowledge to you so that you can coach your team with this. I'm going to give you, again, remember our storytelling: situation, opportunity, or challenge, and resolution. Situation. Your teammates come to you and they're in panic mode. I don't know what to do. I have a problem. And if you multiply that times your team, maybe that's a team of 8, that's a lot of problems that come to you every day. I have 70 employees. So if I allowed a system to metastasize where everyone just came with problems, all I would be is a firefighter with a hose all day long. And I'd be solving everybody's problems. And another saying that Dan has is that every day that I just keep solving everybody's problems for them is another day that I've stolen from my future, because they'll get addicted to just constantly asking, what would you do? What would you do? And then you wake up 1 year and 2 years later and you're still executing solutions to people's problems. So here's the concept. That's the situation. The opportunity is that you arm your teammates with this knowledge that every meeting they come to, every bank meeting, investor meeting, a talent acquisition meeting, prospect meeting for a pitch, a customer meeting where you're talking about upsell and cross-sell, you use these same details. Now, the resolution is the 131. Here's how it works. So imagine you're coming to a call. Let's use a prospect call. And that prospect has asked you, do you have a solution to this problem? Or do you, from a scoping standpoint, can you do these things? So here's how it works. Number 1 is you're capturing and framing the situation, the opportunity, and the challenge all together. So it's like, here's the lay of the land. Here's everything that we know. The situation is this. How it's going to affect things are the opportunity and the challenge. And so this is where the storytelling comes into the first number 1. The number 1 is you're framing up, where are we in the world right now? How did we get to this place? That's number 1. The next is the 3 options. You're going to teach your teammates, when you come to a meeting, you're not just going to throw a problem on my plate. What you're going to do is come to a meeting and say, this is the problem that's happening. But here are the 3 options. Option 1 might be status quo. Let's just let the problem metastasize and see what happens. Option 2, let's make a big 90-degree turn. And option 3, let's make an incremental 5-degree turn for the next month and we'll wake up 45 degrees away from where we were before. Those are three options. And so your teammate or you, no matter what meeting you're in, you're then breaking down. Well, here's the cause and effect. I've analyzed these three options. Here's cause and effect of option one, cause and effect of option two, and cause and effect of option three. The last one is the recommendation or the resolution. The what should we do? My vote is that we go with option number three. We're going to make a 5% pivot. Here's why. We need user adoption and transformation, and we know that change is hard. So we're going to make a little bit of a right-hand turn change 5 degrees every day for 1 month, and we'll get to our destination. And here is the action plan. This was what we would do next. Action is, there's an acronym. I can't even think of what action stands for, but ultimately think of it as, what are we going to do? How are we going to make it measurable? How are we going to check the KPIs that it's going to happen? These are the next steps. So the 1, 3, 1 to re-summarize. Here's the problem I'm having in the market. So here are the three options that I think that we should have analyzed, and here is my analysis of them. And my recommendation is we go with X. Number one as an example. And so you as a leader, when you have teammates doing this, all of a sudden, you're not firefighting problems. You're pressure checking a balance of critical thinking. Okay, maybe there were actually more options than three. Or what they deduced out of one of their options, they hadn't thought a couple layers deep. So all that you're there is a pressure check to say, you know what? Had you also considered option 4? Or in option 2, you talked about the cause and effect, but actually there's another cause and effect you hadn't considered, kind of removing option 2 from the plate. But at least you're not just constantly solving everybody's problems where, like my children, they come to me and they say, I have a boo-boo. Because that's the problem. Well, what are our options? Did you put a Band-Aid on it? Did you put a Kleenex on it? Did you rub dirt on it? Like you're always solving problems. So I hope you found this valuable. I'll stop sharing my screen, but this has been a great framework to be able to help coach young talent. We have 70 employees, then I'll wake up, I'll have 100, then we'll have 150, then we'll have 200. And as we grow, we have to pass this knowledge on so that collectively we're autonomously solving problems for our customers, our prospects, our vendors, our channel partners, our investors, whatever it might be. So I hope you found this valuable. Thanks a lot.